Thanks for taking my call. I have been thinking while being on hold even and listening to you guys talk how to try to word this without making it sound incredibly negative or aggressive. So I apologize in advance if that is the case.
Okay.
It's not my intention at all.
All right.
With the DNC convention, I disagree that they're taking any of this seriously because what my partner and I, when we're watching the news or watching, because we watch stuff literally every night for hours on end, history and modern day news. We watch it, and when we hear them say stuff like the kitchen table topics need to be addressed, when they say terms like that or phrases like that, we just roll our eyes because they've said the same thing since January, and we have never heard any specifics. The only person we've ever heard specifics from as a politician that actively shows the specifics of what they're talking about has been someone like Mamdani. And other than that, the DNC is not taking it seriously. They have refused to cut any of the money that's going to Israel. They have cut they refuse to even take serious any of the election hacking duty to warn letters that were submitted from the 2024 election, and they also said that they were going to be transparent about the election, and they refused to release the report of the after election report that they had come up with for the 2024 election. It's crickets.
Well, look, before I get to Mel, I mean, a couple of things here. There are elements within the DNC that are very protective of what happened in 2024, and it was not a good year. But I'll tell you one thing: Mel knows what happened in 2024, and if anything, he wants to tell the American people and tell the world we're not going back to that insanity again, and everything that went on. So that's number one. Number two, look, we know about the power of AIPAC. We know about the power of other donors and so forth. And we just talked about the idea with Citizens United in an earlier segment, Cam. But I'll let Mel speak to him, yourself. But look, I think that, there are people that, need to understand that reform has to happen, and the Democrats need to be that reform party. And for that, we'll get to Mel.
Cam, first, let me tell you this. In terms of the AIPAC money, we took a stance that you'll be reading about within the next couple of days. In terms of the war, that is something that we're presently working with our DSC and DCCC partners in the House and Senate to craft a position on that as well. So I can tell you, this is part of the conversation we had in New Orleans. So you are definitely being heard. And if you know anything about, the conversations that Jeff and I have, I am constantly making people aware of what happened in 2024. Because Jeff is so right. We are not going back to that again. And the only way for us not to is to have people like yourself aware of what's going on, but also understanding what really happened. Now, there's going to be a report that's going to come out, and that report will be coming out in the next 4 months, and that report's one you're talking about. The reason why the report didn't come out was that because we're still trying to deal with the nonsense that the Red Menace is doing right now. That's the only problem, okay? And we held off on sending that report out until we can put the focus on the lawsuits of us suing him in terms of his undermining affordability, his attack on voting rights, his attack on civil rights, his undermining of the healthcare system. So right now we've been sort of busy trying to put out those attacks and try to push back, working with our Democratic attorney generals across the country. But I can tell you, the information that you're talking about is definitely in play.